Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You have the right to remain well entertained. What harmful things are being taught to children? Not owning up to their mistakes or blaming them on others. Also, there's nothing wrong with saying, "I don't know." That's the beginning of true wisdom. Even better, "I don't know, but I can find out." Or, "I don't know, but we can find out together," if you're the parent. What to think instead of how to think. I love this, and wish it was higher up. I tried finding the study that I'm thinking about, but I can't seem to find it on Google. The gist of the study was that they took two groups of kindergartners. One group of kindergartners was given a type of toy and specifically told that it makes noise. The other group of kindergartners was given the toy but not told whatsoever what that toy does. The group that was specifically told what the toy does only played with the toy to make it make noise. The other group that was not told what it does was able to play with the toy, and found that the toy not only makes noise, but lights up, stretches, etc. The conclusion of the study was that when children are told something rather than letting them figure it out themselves, they're less likely to work out problems and experiments for themselves. How to internalize stress and implode as teens and adults. True story, my parents used to make fun of me when I cried. They even created a mock song to sing whenever I started crying, so guess what? I stopped crying. 27 years later, I can't cry at all and I can't tell others about my stress levels without getting upset. BTW, my parents are really nice people, but I was their first child in the early 90s, so they didn't really know how to deal with a crying child. Being wrong is bad. That's why many people don't change their mind when they were given trustable sources. They don't want to be wrong. If you want to always be right, change your mind. CGP Grey. In a nasty divorce, the parents may only talk about each other's bad qualities and the kids may have an issues with their parents. Yep, my parents, especially my mom, only ever say you're just like your other parent when it's something negative. Led to some serious self-esteem issues that I am still trying to work through into adulthood. That failure is bad. Failing should not be considered as an obstacle but a step in the learning process. Demonizing the failure and stigma associated with it makes many children lose their interest once they fail. This but also the humiliation that comes with failing. If failure is to be considered a learning process, then people need to be taught not to laugh at the people who have failed. Not just the humiliation, but also the shame associated with failure. That they shouldn't question an adult. So true, because of that logic many kids think that every adult is responsable and trustworthy when in reality it's clearly not the case. It was a really weird thing going through college because I began to think more for myself and question adults. It makes you realize how complicated the world is because as a kid you assume exactly as you've said. You do not have to play with everyone? There is a total lack of social accountability. If Laura is always cheating at tag, it's okay to not let her play. If little Billy throws sand in the sandbox, little Timmy does not have to play with him. Laura and Billy need to learn how to play appropriately. My son's preschool has a strict "you do not have to play if you don't want" policy. No one has to play with anyone they don't want to play with. No one has to hug or touch anyone or be touched if they don't want it. No one has to share their toys or other school supplies if they aren't done with it. In fact, the preschool teacher will go over and referee and say, "Is Bobby done with the toy car? No? Then Mikey, you have to wait until he is done." It's pretty refreshing. I wanted to let you know there are new philosophies and my son's preschool really strongly teaches body autonomy. Your body is your own and no one can touch it or make you do anything with it without your permission. Happened to my son in middle school. A kid sucker punched my son. My son then fought back and pinned the kid against the wall. He has long arms, and punched him a few times. The school called me and my wife and told us our son was suspended. We went to the school and they said even though multiple witnesses as well as the kid said he threw the first punch, that the school had a zero tolerance policy so our son would be suspended. We asked what the school believed our son should have done and they said he should just walk away. We told him that he would not be receiving any punishment at home and that the policy was effed up. That's for their insurance policies. They don't give a damn what happens to the kids in that scenario as long as they don't get sued. Children do learn about sex at a young age, it just isn't usually in a productive way. I know I did. My own experience. Questions like this are why I believe in being infinitely clear with my kids. You are going to hear total crap from other kids. If you hear something you don't understand, come talk to me. You can ask me anything and expect a decent answer. And I would give examples of the total crap Jay had heard as a kid. most of which would result in pregnancy. Son, age 6. Daughter, age 7. Riding home from school, daughter says Tiffany said she had sex with my brother, which left me a grand total of 3 minutes to gather my wits before we got home. Okay, do you guys know what sex is? Blank looks. Sex is when you take off all of your clothes and rub privates together. You can make babies that way. Looks of shock and disgust. Do you think your brother had sex with Tiffany? No. I think she was using a really bad way of trying to say she likes him, and maybe she watches the wrong TV shows where if people like each other they always have sex. No backtalk. Many adults use it as you're not allowed to challenge what I have to say. Makes sense if it's a cranky toddler being negative for negativity's sake, but suddenly older children can't question things or raise valid points of their own. My parents stayed at my house for a few weeks while they closed on their new house, and this subject came up. I told them how stupid their mindset was to this growing up, followed up by 20 plus examples of times if they had listened to me as a kid we would not have been in poop situations. I hope every time they started arguing you yelled, "This is my house." No backtalk. Just to get the point across. No. Is a odd word. It's a strong word but not a bad one. I could never tell an adult no growing up because it was a rude word. Becoming an adult is weird. It took me a while to realize I could change things about my life that I didn't like or were making me unhappy, and literally no one would stop it or tell me I couldn't. Teaching them that it's not okay to fail. Some people need a little more time than others. It's okay to not get something now. Kids should be given more time to process things. Imagine having a poor grade because of a low score from the beginning of the year. How can we show children that it's not pass or fail, it's try and improve? And if kids go into software development, or many other fields, to be honest, they are going to struggle with the agile methodology of fail often, fail fast, fail better. They can become perfectionists, which runs very counter to a fast-changing, quick-delivering culture. Perfection is the enemy of done. Kids are starting social media so early these days, and I think that's very dangerous because it puts a lot of pressure on the kid to attribute their worth to their social media success. I also think parents are way too open with their social media when it comes to their kids, and it's totally a violation of the child's privacy, of which some parents will never admit. The amount of parents I see on social media just sharing everything that happens in their child's life is astounding. Maybe Bobby doesn't want everyone to know that tried out for the school play but he didn't make it. That may not be a big deal to you, but Bobby might be really upset right now, and having everyone his mom knows giving opinions on the subject probably won't help. What would have been your answer or question? Leave it in the comments below. Slap that like and subscribe button for more, and check out the link in the video description for even more answers. Peace out, and catch you in the next video.